You're tuned in to the It's Real podcast with your hosts, Kayla Calendar and Andrew Yagi. Each week, we'll talk about what happens behind the scenes working full-time in real estate and share with you real-life stories, our successes and failures as we work to help consumers and industry professionals reach their real estate and real-life goals. Here we go. It's episode 21 of the It's Real podcast. I'm Andrew Yagi, and I'm a real estate agent.
I'm Kayla Calendar, and I'm a mortgage lender.
Kayla, it's great to see you after a 2-week respite. How's your week going?
It's going well. We're halfway through. It's slower this week. We're seeing some closings, but a little slower. We're seeing a little pause in the market. So how about you? How's your week?
Yeah, I would agree. We've actually we're supposed to have 4, maybe 5 closings, but a couple of things getting pushed for various reasons. The devil's in the details, so just kind of some minor things. But yeah, we're definitely seeing it slow down as well. I kind of feel like, and again, still being the new kid on the block in real estate, I'm still kind of observing what I perceive to be trends, but it seems to me that, when you get like a holiday week, like the 4th of July or even Labor Day, it seems like a holiday week is a little bit quieter. That's my perception.
Oh, it totally is. And it always will be. It's people want to focus on their plans, and around here, especially, we don't get a lot of warm weather. And so people are really dedicated to their Wee Fests and their 4th of July and everything. So it's not very, it's pretty common that it slows down.
And what about their outdoor activities like golf, Kayla? Like, I was just looking around a little bit. I feel like you golfed maybe like 25 golf tournaments.
No, Andy, it was like 5. Calm down.
Granted, I've had plenty of things going on this summer and had to push our time to connect and to shoot this. But I feel like you've done it like 2 or 3 times for pop-up golf tournaments.
Yes. This last one was another charity golf tournament. Beautiful day. We don't get a lot of beautiful sunny days, so we take advantage, right?
Actually, I really love, one of the things that I love most about living in our area of the country is just the seasons. And, it's always a little bittersweet, maybe a little bit more for you, because I know you guys are really loving your lake property and you guys take so much advantage of it. And so for a lot of people, it's sad, when the summer weather's done, when lake season's over. But I really love the fall weather. I just love it.
What do you love about it?
I just love the change. I like change. I like, cool mornings. It's nice to get out and go for a walk. Like Ella, my kindergartner, my oldest, there are some days where I'll just keep her, and my wife will take the other 2 girls to daycare. And so we'll hang out a little bit together in the morning. And Ella always wants to go on a walk. Dad, let's go on a walk. So it's like, hey, it's so nice. Mm-hmm. Plus, farming, all of the fall things, coming from an agricultural family, just the harvest piece, I think is a good thing too.
Nothing beats the smell of harvest. If they could just bottle that up and make a candle, I'd buy it.
Absolutely. Yeah. So Kayla, what are you seeing, in the market, as far as rates and everything else?
For so long, other lenders that I've spoken to have said, yeah, I'm slow. And I'm like, I'm not. I'm getting a ton of pre-approvals. We're seeing these come in. And as of the last probably week and a half, 2 weeks, I have felt applications have kind of paused. And actually, there was an article that, you and I talked about offline here, was that mortgage apps are down, their lowest since 1996. Ooh. You know what I mean? I was in elementary school. So that is a telltale sign of that what's going to happen. I feel I am not, I don't have a crystal ball, but if we're seeing applications down, we're seeing pre-approvals down, we're seeing people that are not going to go shop. This, it takes time. It's not like people get approved and buy a house tomorrow. Usually they have to search to shop, but we're seeing apps down and purchase agreements down. And what that means is that people are kind of just pulling back even more. And school has started. A lot of times that means, people want to be in their homes before school starts for their kids to be in the right neighborhood. But now we're leading into holiday season. It's already slow in mortgage world anyway, in residential real estate. We know this, but I fear we're going to have, as you said earlier, a cold winter. And as you saw, rates are, the national average is what, seven and a quarter, I think, right now. And that's on a 30-year fixed. And that's
Right.
great, great credit. That's primary residence. What about if it's an investment? What if it's a non-occupant? There are so many factors that go into that rate that we've seen some in the eights, some people. So it's kind of turning a little bit and I'm feeling it. Are you
Yeah.
feeling
Absolutely. We're definitely feeling it. I was just kind of reviewing our numbers with our team, and, I think the national average is sales are down about 25% year over year. Our team, we're down about 12%, which still, I think, outpaces the market. I know some people who are having really fantastic years and doing more business than they've ever done, but um, yeah, without a doubt, things are slowing down. We're seeing more inventory coming on the market.
yeah.
Things are sitting. Like, it's been really surprising. Even some of the properties I've shown in our area, and I've literally been the first one to show the property, and it's been on the market 5 days. We've
Yeah.
had some listings that have been very similar where, we put them on the market and just not a lot of activity. But there again, we just have to look a little bit harder as agents or as lenders
Yeah.
and go find the people who are truly motivated, because I do have some really motivated buyers and sellers as well, people who maybe have left the area, or
Mhm.
some individuals who, life circumstances have changed or they're moving here, and hey, we really need to get into something. But especially, trying to find affordable housing for people obviously is going to continue to be a challenge. But it's really fun. I've seen some lenders, kind of stepping up to the plate as far as looking for solutions and different programs, and
Mhm.
options, down payment assistance to help people get into housing, which is really, really fantastic. And Kayla, we talk about it often, but just aligning yourself with
Yeah.
good people and actually taking the time to sit down and put a plan in place. Kayla, I've had more and more people come to me saying, when I'm trying to qualify them, that, what, I got pre-qualified with Rocket Mortgage or with Zillow. Zillow's, jumping with both feet into,
Yeah.
the mortgage world, among many other online providers. And people
Mhm.
want easy, they want convenient, but, you know, people also don't think, well, hey, what happens when things get challenging, and why would anyone ever think about that? I mean, hey, I want to buy a house. I'm gonna
Mhm.
we'll put a purchase agreement together, or, a few signatures, and anybody can do it. Everybody's the same, so
Yeah.
let's just go with it, right?
A lot of people they think that it should be easy like everything else, right? You can order your groceries online, have them delivered. You can order car service. You can do all these things quite quickly and conveniently, right? Well, one of the biggest issues we see, the clients that are not taking the time to meet with their lender or realtor and have quality conversations for probably the biggest purchase you'll ever make. You see a lot of people just rush through it, and then you hear the stories and they don't get the experience. And then their realtor and their lender is just done and they don't hear from them. But when you take the time to research your lender or your realtor and you meet with them and get to know them, we're humans too. And you can read people pretty easily. You can sniff commission breath pretty quickly. And so one of the things is, we are not just, you and I, Andy, we know this. We're not just like empty suits. We are people. We want to advise you because we have seen the people that take the shortcuts, the people that are
Mhm.
racing to closing to get the docs that they didn't get that we told them to, maybe didn't take your advice, Andy. And those are the ones that suffer. And in this market, if you are serious, you need to sit down and have quality conversations. I'm not saying hours and hours, but I have some clients that don't even want to talk for 15 minutes. They just do the app and they're like, what am I approved for? But if I want to really customize the solution, just like you, Andy, if you're listing a home or you're representing someone's purchase, you want to know their goals, their what scares them, what makes them nervous about this, what are they excited for. If I don't know that, I can't give you the best option, and I can guarantee you those rockets or online lenders of the world aren't either, or the realtor you found on Zillow that did one home, or your mother's, stylist grandma is a realtor. You
Mhm.
have to have the quality conversations and work with someone that's reputable. So,
I was looking back at some of my numbers, and I try to do a good job of tracking what homes I show to individuals and who I've met with in person, versus, hey, let's just go out on the
yeah,
fly. And excuse me, I was looking before, and on average, I think I was maybe showing an average of 8 homes to people who, more of the stubborn type, or more the ones that, hey, we didn't take the
yeah,
time to get together and sit down. Um, but those, since I've started sitting down with, as many clients as possible that are buying and saying, hey, let's get to the bottom of what exactly are you looking for. I mean, on average, we're maybe looking at 3 homes,
mhm,
provided we're not getting beat out. So
yeah,
I think it makes a huge difference, to sit down with your expert of choice
yeah,
and sit down. And again, just on Monday, I had a lender locally here sitting down with me and a potential buyer, and I'm like, hey, we're looking at some special programs to try to get you into a home, and
mhm,
I want to make absolutely sure we're on the same page and you understand what this is and the ramifications of it, not just, hey, here's a solution, let's go for it. So I think it
yeah.
it, it makes a lot of sense, Kayla.
Well, I love that you said that you sat with a lender because often, I might run into a realtor who's representing my client and they just go show them homes. We don't talk. Where I think it's incredibly important that the realtor and lender align. They say, hey, if they're getting into the 320 range, we're going to be tight. 310 is probably better. Hey, closing costs are estimated to be 6 grand on this property. If you want to ask for closing costs, to just be on the same page. And some realtors want to know the payments or the estimates, some don't. Some clients want to know everything, or they don't. They say just talk to my realtor. But my point is that it's incredibly important that you align your team, that your realtor and lender are aligning, because I've seen purchase agreements come through and I'm like, "Oh gosh, they bought in Moorhead and the program that we were approving them for was in Fargo, and now what?"
It was the
So,
North Dakota housing program.
yeah, I've seen it, and so that's where conversations are crucial, and just to do the work
Yeah.
up front, you guys, whether you're in the business or you're buying, take the time, and like you said, Andy, there's programs out there that, some lenders, if they have only blue shoes, they're only gonna sell blue shoes. Why would they're not gonna tell you about the red shoe across the street. So, make sure that you're discovering these programs because they can save you and provide you a lot of value to get into a home.
Mhm. I love it. And value is getting to be more and more important, Kayla. Do you remember, and I remember a webinar earlier in the year talking about, the Mortgage Bankers Association, which a lot of people look at their report as far as, their forecast for rates. And do you remember what they had forecasted rates would be, Q3 or year end of this year?
Yeah, I saw a 4.9 at one point. Yeah, I think that was in, like, April, maybe I saw that, it
And
was forecasted.
and now looking, they're at 6.8, hopefully dropping to
Yeah,
6.2. But I don't know
yeah.
if the Fed's talking, are they talking another rate hike? I don't even keep track anymore, to be honest, because it just
They
seems like
always
whatever they promise is totally out the window. And
I don't blame you. They're talking one more rate hike, so anytime I get a new purchase agreement, I give my clients the option, do you wanna lock and put it to bed, or do you want to float and see what happens? And knowing there could potentially be another rate hike, it's you just never know. So,
Mhm. I know we talk a lot about rates, Caleb, but I want to talk about home values and
yeah,
forecasts. So there's a source I look at, Keeping Current Matters. They kind of cater to
sure.
real estate professionals, and of course source their information from any number of sources. But basically, a lot of people were really concerned, this year starting out, that, oh boy, the market's going to stagnate, home values are going to drop, or we're going to lose value. We're going to be upside down on our homes. But
Yeah.
this just kind of shows, kind of in the same light that the MBA forecast talked about rates. This shows originally all of these different entities and what they forecast home prices to do um, as far as increase or decrease this year. And you can see most everyone said, hey, home values are going to decrease, that we are going to lose some value this year, when realistically now they revised those forecasts. And in fact, the American Enterprise Institute, I'm not sure who they are, but they think that overall that home values are going to increase 6%. So just
Mhm.
showing some positive growth. Or Morgan Stanley saying, well, and the MBA saying, well,
Yeah.
they're not going to grow at all, but hey, at least it's flat, which, kind of
Mhm.
like playing a hand of blackjack. And, when you push against the dealer, a push is better than a shove,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
So
Amen. I mean,
what do you make of that?
I think that people just need to not live in fear. I think that if you're just looking, it's not just about the dollar, it's also about the feelings, the things that you get with a new home, the fact that you can have privacy and you can have a pet now. There's so many other things that this is taken into account. But when I look at our national average of credit card debt, it is mind-boggling. I look to see that come October, student loan payments are now due. That's been on a home. So when I think about all these things in a whole, when I think about having a home for like that, I want the neighborhood a safe place. That regardless, this is just proof that we don't know what's going to happen with rates, with home values. That if buying a home is important to you, really seriously consider the things that aren't just a dollar amount, because we are living in debt. Student loans are coming due. Like I said, it's more than just what we're hoping or thinking could happen. So,
But it is very, very important to have that financial plan, but also
yeah,
to approach it, with a sense of mindfulness. I hear a lot of
yeah.
people, and I'm sure you do too. Oh, I'm putting my search on hold right now. I'm going to wait till
Yeah.
prices drop. And realistically, just with the lack of new construction, and with just where we are in most communities, that's not likely to happen. And a lot of people really fail to take into account the cost of waiting. And here's another great graphic, just talking
Mhm.
about an individual's potential growth in household wealth over 5 years based
Yeah.
on increased home equity. And so this is based on a $400,000 purchase price. My market is maybe, not quite half of that. Our,
Sure.
our average home sales about, 230-ish or so, but either way, you can kind of make sense of this
Yeah.
graphic.
Well, and one thing that we'll do for clients, my team and I will do is if you're renting at a certain amount and your new house payment estimate is X amount, we'll do a cost of waiting analysis to say if you continue paying rent for 2,000, but you buy a house for 3,000 a month, and although it's 1,000 more, a good lender will break that down for you for your scenario. Not just like I love that graph. Like that's people love those visuals, Andy. So thank you for providing. And I think it's important that you take your scenario to a lender and say, what's the cost of waiting if I'm paying this and I'm looking at this, and have them break it down for you. Again, it's conversations where it's aha moments when they see this for their own scenario.
I love that. And you know what? I've never ever thought of the cost of waiting scenario or running it for an individual. But even, and I don't know of any, and I'm sure there are some lenders that I've worked with that have done it as well. But that's something that's
Mhm.
really awesome.
I'll put one together for our next podcast and we can do an analysis. So,
I like it.
yeah.
Well, any other thoughts, Kayla, or anything you want to cover today?
The last thing that I'll say is just take the time up front for something so important to you and make sure you don't settle. You can have conversations with many lenders, many realtors, feel them out because it's important. And same with the people working in the industry. Have the conversations up front, lender, get to know your client, realtor, same thing. It makes a world of difference.
Yep. Amen. Any big plans for the rest of the week or the weekend, Kayla?
I'm golfing tomorrow. I know. And this week
You didn't want to tell me just so I couldn't give you a
yeah,
hard time about
yeah,
that.
pretty much. No, taking some referral partners, and then this weekend is the lake. We're enjoying it as much as we can. So, how about you, Andy?
And are you going out there, like, I mean, all through the fall, winter? Do you make it out there quite a bit, or not? Probably not
Less
quite as
in the
much.
winter, but it's year round. And truthfully, like when you're in a busy career and a busy city, it's truly an oasis to get out of town. So
Mhm.
we'll get out there a little bit. What are
Nice.
your plans?
What are we up to? Well, we have a couple more closings this week, so kind of
Yay.
wrapping up some business. We've got a number of listings that are going to be coming on the market. So there are still people that are transacting that are motivated, to get out there and do something. Yeah, so just kind of working with our clients, and then hopefully having an enjoyable weekend. My middle one, it's her birthday's coming up next week, so we're going to
Oh,
go and kind of celebrate a little bit on Saturday. Kind of it's church fall festival season, so probably do that a little bit on Sunday, and yeah, just relax a little bit in between.
amen. Well, hi to the kiddos, hi to the wife. Enjoy the weekend. And hey, we made it past 20 episodes, Andy.
We did.
Most
We
people
did.
don't.
Um, Well, we'll catch you next time. Have a great one, Kayla.
I will if you will.